Alright, it's finally time. This thing's coming out. For a T-56. I grab the start by moving the starter. And then drain the fluid. Remove the drive shaft. Remove all the sensors. Remove the torque arm. Remove the exhaust. I got a new one of these. Put a new one of those on. Should got a new one of these. What can you do? After that, more sensors. Move the clutch fork. And get your transmission hoist. Unbolt this. All the bolts into the bell housing, and should just slide right out there. And then go to the bell housing, move the clutch, flywheel, all that stuff. Just got this inspection plate out in the starter. And look what fell out once I did that. I'm guessing that's the clutch. Yeah, that thing is done. Done. Can't see it yet, but when I get the transmission pulled, I'll be able to see it. I want to just see how bad it is. Alright, getting ready to take this drive shaft off. If you need I took off the torque arm. If you need to adjust your parking brake, right now's the best time to do it. It's right there. Make sure you're lashed in right here. Grab a box wrench, and then either another wrench or vice grips, whatever you want to use for this part, and tighten it down if your parking brake isn't tightened and your wheels are constantly loose. It's the best time to do it right now. All right, just got the exhaust hanger out. To get this out, the easiest way is move your cat bolts. You're gonna need a big breaker bar, depending on how rusted the bolts are. This for the torque arm. All you have to do, if you're just taking out the transmission and doing a clutch job, all you gotta do is do this top bolt right here, and then it releases the torque arm. But I need to transfer all this over for the T-56 because I don't have it on there, so I had to take everything off. All right, got the transmission out. I tell you that jack, the ratchet strap on it's more of a hassle than useful, so I wouldn't bother with that thing, especially with this T5, how light it is. Well, light enough for me to take it off by hand. I used the jack to lower it down. Doesn't look like the engine's leaning on the firewall, which is good. Guess my motor mounts are okay. So I'm gonna go pull this out. Look how dirty it is. I'm pretty sure my rear main seal is leaking. This one was leaking too, really bad. Also on the tunnel, be very careful when you're pulling out your center console, because a lot of those parts are really expensive right now. I broke my light switch. I didn't break it, but I broke the housing of it trying to pull it off the connector. And I looked it up. One light switch, $30. I remember when it was $5. It's pretty ridiculous now. But yeah, so just be careful when you're pulling it apart. I'm gonna pull the bell housing out, pull the flywheel, clutch, all that stuff, get it cleaned up. Check my rear main seal. I'm pretty sure it's leaking because there's oil everywhere, so I'm gonna change the rear main seal since I'm here. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that now. Oh yeah, another thing too, If you don't have a high enough jack, or if you don't have a lift, you could put the transmission on a towel or a rag or something. Just pull it out like that. A lot more easier instead of trying to muscle it out, scratch it up. So yeah, got the clutch out, and I was right. That was a piece of the freaking clutch. Blew up. Alright, got the flywheel off. See this light. See, pretty greased up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rear main seal. Alright, this is 2 hours later. I couldn't get this damn pilot bushing out. I don't know if this is stock or aftermarket. I tried the bread method, I tried the bolt method, didn't get it. So what I ended up doing was I went to O'Reilly's and got the pilot bearing bush puller. It's part number 67033. Looks like this, and then you need to get the slide hammer that goes with it, and then it doesn't fit the pilot bearing and bushing on these cars. So what I ended up doing was I got a file, and then I took the new pilot bearing and I just kept putting it on, file it down, put it on, file and pop, until it finally went through. Once it went through, I was able to get it and put it, remove this freaking thing. Oh man, I finally got it out. Came right out with that. You can see all the little bread I left behind. Look at all that bread. But yeah, that's what you gotta do to get that out. Another thing I've been struggling with is to tighten down the flywheel down to torque spec. I was looking all over the internet, couldn't figure it out. So what I did was I put 2 of the bolts in for the clutch, and then I put my pry bar against the frame rail, away from the brake line, away from everything. I pressed it against it and used the torque wrench. The torque spec is 74 foot-pounds, and they're tightened. So I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Continue tomorrow, but that's how you do that. All right, I'm getting ready to put the transmission in now. Now's the time to put on your new mounts. Also, relocate the this wire. This is your reverse lights. You want to relocate this right now since it's easy. Not so much relocate, but just extend it. You can buy this online from Amazon. Comes with all the plugs you need. So the wires are pretty long enough. You just cut the old one, like how I did. This is still good, so I left a little bit left. It'll fit, but it's just not long enough. So you extend it. So right now, you also got to do the reverse lockout. I'm gonna do that one after I get the transmission in, so I can know how much wire I need. That one you can wait on. You need to get the shift fork in. That put some thread locker on. Not sure what torque spec it is. Just make sure it's tight. And then yeah, this thing will be ready to go in. All right, I got the transmission bolted up using transmission jack from Harbor Freight. Good value. Recommend this a lot better than using a regular floor jack. after you get these bolts tightened up, you put the shift fork in. I also forgot to say, you want to lubricate the transmission shaft, like the input shaft that goes into the clutch. And then also you want to lubricate here on the shift fork, the shift fork pivot, the thing that holds the shift fork in, and then also the tips of the shift fork that connects to the throwout bearing. You want to lubricate that, and then lubricate the throwout bearing, the inside and the outside, and then lubricate the shaft, the input shaft on the tip, all the way going to the back, so this can easily slide in and out, and it'll be easier to get inside. Also, you want to lubricate the little pins that go on the transmission to the bell housing, and the ones to the engine, so it'll be a lot easier to get it on. And the easiest way to really get this on is to first try to get as far as you can with the pins and the shaft. And as soon as it gets close enough, put one of the bolts in. I recommend this bolt, and then try to tighten it down, and then put another bolt on the other side and tighten that one down, and make sure it's going in straight. And once you get it straight, then you can put all the bolts in and tighten those down. I don't know what the torque spec on these, so I just put them pretty tight. Use third locker if you want. And then after that, then you put the shift fork in. Also, before you put this on, I also forgot to say is there's these little tabs that go onto this piece with the bolt. Make sure it goes in and out smoothly before you put the transmission on, otherwise you'll have a really hard time putting this fork on. So make sure it goes in and out. Make sure you can just pop it in and out. Okay. So after that, I'm gonna put the crossmember back on, not all the way, and then jack it up as far as I can, because I'm gonna have to cut tight. I'm gonna have to cut right here. Where the transmission goes, just a little bit, about an inch or 2 inches right here, so you can easily raise this all the way up and put the shifter on. So first I'm going to put the crossmember on, and not tighten it all the way yet, just leave it hanging loose so I can release some pressure off the engine and all that, and then get a nice angle of where I need to cut. So I won't cut more than I really need to, just cut what I need to, so I can easily put everything back together. Alright, so I'm gonna get to that. So back up top, getting ready to cut the tunnel just a little bit. Get my measuring. Alright, right now I'm locked in. Came off. So locked in, that's the edge. I'm on the edge of the transmission. So I'm sitting about 1 inch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut 1 inch here, 1 inch here, probably a little bit more. I'm just gonna grab some pliers and then just pull it up some, and see if I can get away with just leaving this up instead of cutting it out completely, so I can leave as much tunnel as possible, and maybe weld it back later. You don't have to. Some people, they just straight up just cut all the way here. I've seen pictures online, they just straight up cut this. Other pictures online where people had the automatic, they have a little more leeway because they have to cut anyways, so they'll just cut it perfect straight whole for theirs. This is mine, it's a manual car. Just have to cut a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Make sure you cover this, and then gonna be using her shifter. That's what I have. The OEM will work too. It's just what I got. So I want to be able to just boom, take it out without having to do anything. I just want to be able to take the interior out. Maybe not even the interior, just take this little piece part off and just be able to slide this in and out if I want to. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Alright, so I just cut everything and I ripped off this piece of metal. Cut it about 1.5 inches. So I could just boom, pop it in and out. Be honest, it looks freaking ugly. So I cut about 1.5 inches. So for you, I will say before even putting the transmission in, go ahead right here to right here. Like just line these 2 bolt holes up for the shifter boot, and just go ahead and cut it before you even try to put the transmission in, because you're gonna have to cut it no matter what. But I did. I used Dremel, and then I pieced it back with some pliers and a hammer, and I like folded this piece over. Pop in and out easy now. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with the boot. So boot's going to go on like this. It's going to be up here. So this part's going to be a little exposed. So I'm thinking is maybe I'll put this on and then fold it over just a little bit. And then later on, when I get like a welder, I'll come back and just kind of weld this back in. Just a little bit. So nothing can come through from underneath. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, put some RTV on the shifter, clean this up, seal this, pull it down, grease up the shifter, and then throw everything back together. Also, now's the time to put the reverse lockout. I think it was this one. Is it this one or that one? One of these, and then your speed sensor. If you have a later 89, I think 89, 90, they have an electronic speed sensor. Also, all you're gonna need is just an adapter to hook up to your speedometer. For me, the 88 and below, you're gonna have to get a converter box. This is a little box that you put the speed sensor, you put it on the speed cable, and then it creates another sensor that you can plug into the transmission itself. What I should have did is if you're gonna get your transmission rebuilt, like if you get it from a junkyard like how I did and gonna get it rebuilt, what I should have did was actually have the dude that rebuilt it drill out the taste, and then there's like a little kit that you can get that'll let you use a mechanical cable. It'll put a little plastic gear on the output shaft, and then it'll give you a little new plastic gear for your for the cable, and you can just stick it in and bolt it in, and you won't have to get no box or nothing. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Yeah, also on the shifter boot, you're gonna have to cut it. I suggest cutting it from here and then work your way up, because it won't fit on, because you have to cut this back, so the shifter's back about another 1 inch or 2 inches or so. So I suggest cutting it right here first and then move your way up so you can get a better fit. I still have this gap here. I'm gonna figure out some way to fill in this gap with something so I don't have any dust or debris or anything getting inside the car. I'll figure something out for that. Until then, this is done too. You got to do that, or get a 4th gen boot shifter. I'm not sure how that will work, You still got to mount up some new bolt holes. Maybe you can relocate a little bit, drill some new holes. But either way, you're gonna be kind of screwed because there's bolt holes right here. After that, it just stops, so you're not gonna have enough space to really put any boot on. So I don't know. I'll figure something out to cover this hole up with. All right, I got the reverse lockout hooked up. What I did was right here. There's a little connector. There's a light blue wire on the side panel. Move the side panel, and there's a light blue wire. That one, and then I put a splitter connector right here, and I ran the wire from the switch. I grounded here. I should have grounded right here instead. I grounded there. It's not a big deal. And then the other wire, the red one, right here, the red one. I ran it over to that light blue wire, and now every time I press the brake pedal, you can hear it. That's the reverse lockout, letting me put it in reverse. It's in reverse right now, so that's ready to go. Next step is going to be, I'm going to put back some of the interior. Since I'm done, I'm still waiting for my clutch slate cylinder. Still hasn't come in yet, so I'm waiting for that. When that comes in, then I can test it, shift all gears, and start it up. Until then, I gotta wait. Right? I made a mistake. That's why I do these videos, so you won't. This is the clamp for the torque arm. The only way to get this in is to have the transmission lowered. I see I can't even get it in. It's too big. The stud's too long. So I gotta lower the transmission again. Not take it out, just lower it so I can slip it in there. So I'll do that real quick. It won't take long. Just 4 bolts. Crossmember. This is the UMI Crossmember for transmission. Crossmember. It was like $150. Is good value. Also, this is the spacer or the housing for the shift fork. Wherever you get your transmission from, make sure you have this, because this was pretty overpriced in my opinion. This was $150. This part was the same price as this part. Just because this is billet aluminum. But I don't know. That doesn't justify the cost for me. Just because it's billet aluminum. But yeah, make sure your bell housing has this part, or go with a hydraulic throwout bearing. But then you're gonna have to have a completely different setup on the clutch and everything. But yeah, just make sure you have this part. And also, this is the skip shift. So you don't want to be using this one. This one, just leave it disconnected or take it out if you want to. There's plugs you could get. I'm just gonna leave it in there, but you don't want to use that one. This is the reverse lockout right here. Some people use it, some people don't. I'm gonna use it. I don't want to be shifted into reverse. I'm gonna wire it up through the brake lights of the brake pedal. So every time I hit the brake, pretty much this thing will unlock the reverse for me. It's a little safety. You can also not use it. You can overpower it by just trying to shift into reverse. Even if you try to shift to reverse when you're driving, it's gonna grind to tell you, hey, stop doing that. And then also you can get another adapter too that gets rid of all this, and it just uses a spring instead of using a solenoid. Well, it's the same concept. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the transmission down a little bit so I can get this in, and then get the exhaust clamp in. For this one, if you need to replace yours is all worn out, You can get this one from Summit Racing. You will have to drill out the rivet to get it in, and then use a bolt or something to put a new one, or put in a new rivet for it. But I just drilled it out, punched it out with a punch, and then put the new one in and put a bolt. And then yeah, I'm about to go start with that. Another thing is you're gonna have to modify this unless you get it from the donor card. Also, this is too big. You don't exactly need this. I mean, it is pretty solid without it. Like, I'm shaking the crap out. It's not going anywhere. So you don't really need this. I just want to add it on just in case. Just have another mounting point for it. Alright, I got the drive shaft in. I got this torque arm almost done. Easy way to get this torque arm in is to first put this end in and then put the bolt in loosely. You can go from the other side. Just put it in loosely, but make sure it's in the threads, and then put the end in, the differential side in. You're gonna have to jack up the rear end a little bit to get it in properly. Also, to make it even easier, it's a spread open using some all thread and 2 bolts and washers. You just put one side in, one side in, and then you turn one bolt to spread out the torque on. It makes it a whole lot easier to slide on. See how much more easier to put in, and then when you bolt it in, it'll clamp it back down to the right tightness. So that's one way to get that on easier. I'm about to tighten this up and then move on to the interior, and then also need to figure out my exhaust clamp like before. Alright, so I'm about to put the clutch master cylinder in. This one is from Luke. This part number. I switched out the slave cylinder for this one from SKP. Part number right there. Reason I did that is because this one's metal. It feels like cast iron, I think, and also has a bleed or screw, so it'll make it a lot easier to bleed. The other one that comes from Luke, I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't have the bleed or screw, and also it's made of plastic. So did that. Also, I like this one from Luke because it has the braided steel line. That's pretty good. The other one just has a regular plastic line. So I'm about to put this in finally. Remove the old one. I'm sure you gotta do that. Alright, so what I did was I removed the relay circuits right here. Just 2 bolts. One there, one there. There it is, right down there. So right there. If you see it. So now what I do is I'm gonna take some of this fluid out, and then I'll unbolt these, and then I'm gonna go inside and unbolt the master cylinder from the pedals. Alright, I'm inside the car. I'm gonna remove this bolt and this bolt, and then you're gonna remove the clip. The clip that's right here. It's way up in there. You can see it. I'm gonna remove that clip. Just follow the rod. There's a clip that goes to the pedal. You're gonna remove that with a screwdriver, and then it should come right out. I got it out. What you're gonna have to do is here's the new one. There's this little U-bolt. What I did was first this I got a screwdriver and I pried it out like this. Just go right underneath, just pry it out this way, and it'll come off the pedal. And then the U-bolts, I used a hammer. I just used the flat end, like the butt of it, and just whacked the U-bolt out. And I came in over on this side, and I grabbed it with some needle nose, grabbed the U-bolt, got that out of there. And then I removed the reservoir from the hose. It pops in and right and out, pops right out. And then you have to snake it through under here, and snake it under there, under the steering shaft, and it'll come out right from the bottom. And you put it back in the same way. Oh yeah, also there's a little ground wire that connects right here. Remove that out the way because it gets hooked onto it. And then also pull your what helped me too was pulling my speedo. If your speedometer is not connected, like mine's, do this before you connect your speedometer. Just pull it out a little bit to get more room, and eventually you'll get it. It'll come right out. So now I'm going to put the new one in. Let's start by removing the reservoir. Just go ahead and pop that off, make it easier. And hopefully this is not such pain. Oh man. I'll tell you how it goes. Okay, so another problem I had was the retaining clip. I'm so tired. I like to stash. So the retaining clip, it didn't. The 4th gen one did not fit. So what I had to do was I took off the old one, but the old one broke. There's supposed to be some plastic ends on the rod right here. There's supposed to be like some plastic ends, and those broke off. So what I did was just stuck it in and used a zip tie for temporary until the new one comes in. I already ordered it, but it won't be here until a week from now. So for temporary, I just put a zip tie. Works okay. It'll be fine for now. But until then, just gotta wait. But now I can finally start putting the rest of the slave cylinder on and then bleed it. Alright, I'm bleeding the clutch. You want to press the pedal a couple times and then open up the bleeder valve and then just let it come out. You should see a nice consistent stream like this. It shouldn't be like drippy. It should just come straight down. That means you ain't got no more air in the system. Alright, so I made a slight mistake that led to me pulling out the transmission again. And that is, you need to make sure your clutch fork, these tabs are not broken. These tabs are broken. I didn't know because I never seen this type of clutch fork before. And so I ordered a new one. This is a new one from Hawks. And you can see these tabs are way longer than these ones. So that was a complete waste of time on my part. Now I gotta pull the transmission, well I already did, and then put this new fork in. don't know why it came like this. It came super dirty. It's weird. But I'm gonna clean this up, get all that gunk off. Came with a new bolt, new pivot, new bolt, new pivot. I didn't think I needed it. I just decided to get it anyways. You never know. And probably didn't need it. Well, what can you do? Hawks does make good stuff for our 3rd gen, so probably this one will be much better anyways. Who knows? So go red, redo this, grease this up, Loctite the bolt, put it in straight, and I should have no problems this time. Because what happened was, this clutch fork, every time I will put the slave cylinder on, as soon as I bolt it in and hit the clutch pedal, it'll just boom, pop right out, slip out. So this clip was just no good. I tried looking online, maybe there was a way to replace the clip. I didn't see any, couldn't find any, so I had to put down $200 for a new clutch fork and another $50 for the bolt and pivot arms, whatever, slider. And yeah, I'm gonna put this in. Alright, it's out under its own power. Put everything back together. Need to go over all the parts that I needed to make everything work. Right now I'm gonna take it on a test drive, see how it goes. Man, I tell you, I love this shifter. It's like a bolt action rifle. Still getting some sound from the brakes. Probably just need to bind it a little bit more. I tell you, this shifter's awesome. I love this Hertz shifter. Now you can hear that. That's the brakes. Alright, coming back in. It's been about 2 months. I've been really busy trying to finally finish up this video. I've been driving around for about 2 months. I haven't had really any big issues, just little minor problems with the clutch master cylinder. For some reason, whenever I push the clutch all the way down in, it'll make a clacking sound or so, like a sound, like if the throttle bearing is like going too far in, it's like hitting something. I think because on the end of the slave cylinder, the part that goes into the transmission, the part that goes in the transmission, that part, I think what's happening is there's a plastic piece at the end that sticks into the fork. I think I need to do is remove that plastic piece, and it'll stop doing that because it's just pushing it too far in. My other theory, or thing that might causing it, is that because I'm using a 3rd gen master cylinder instead of a 4th gen. Maybe the 3rd gen is just too high and it's pushing it down too far. Because also my pedal sits pretty high as well. Usually it's like right here. Well, this setup is like about like 1 inch or 2 inches higher. So that's one problem I'm having. Other than that, it's been going pretty well. Getting gauges well, fine. See if I can replicate that sound for you. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it don't. It's weird. We'll push it all the way in, see what happens. It's not doing it. Yeah, I'm pushing it all the way in. Don't hear anything. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. I don't know why. But I think it's because of that plastic. Probably if I take that plastic part off, it'll be fine. Also, the engagement takes like a bajillion years. Like, here's my foot all the way down to the floor. We'll put in gear. And watch how long it takes before finally the RPM start to drop. It's like right here, 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 here. Right there, it starts to engage. Like more than almost, I'm almost all the way off the pedal before it finally starts to engage. It takes so long. So I think it just has to do with the master cylinder that I used. It's probably just use a 4th gen master cylinder instead. Turn it off. Other than that, the fitment's fine. This is where the shifter's location at. It's pretty good. If I would have put a stock shifter or like a little regular 4th gen shifter, just probably look completely stock. I also got this sticker from eBay. This was about like $10 plus shipping. Freaking so expensive. I don't know why, it's just a sticker, but I wanted to have that stock look. I wanted to make it look like the car just came with the transmission from the factory, and it went pretty well. Doesn't look like I did absolutely anything, so that's one plus. On the pedal, I did have to get this plastic piece. Let's take it out. This little plastic piece for the clutch pedal inside, instead of using a zip tie, of course. If you do get the 3rd gen one, it already has one, but I just got one just in case. If you use the 4th gen one, you're gonna have to take that 4th gen bushing out and put this plastic one instead, so it can work. Other than that, another problem I have is the drive shaft. I feel a vibration coming for it when I'm going up speed, like when I get past 55, 65, around that area. I hear this vibration sound, and it just gets worse as faster I go. I think the drive shaft, I probably put the yoke on wrong, probably upside down, or it just needs to be balanced. When I get ready to do the motor, I'm gonna take the drive shaft out and see. Probably just needs to get balanced, most likely. It could also be tire being flat, because this car would be sitting for sometimes, so it could be that also. Another problem I had for the speed sensor, speedometer, my speedometer doesn't work because I have nothing really connected to anything to it. You can get the converter box. I was thinking of doing that. Well, that converter box is like $350, $400, $500, depending where you get it from and the time of the sale and all that stuff. But it's pretty expensive. But there's a little gauge system from Dakota Digital that replaces every single gauge, because my RPM gauge doesn't work here. That's why I have this one, and then these gauges are not that accurate. So I'm gonna probably end up going with that instead. It's $800, but then I'll have brand new gauges that all work, and then also I have a digital gauge I can connect to the transmission. It's gonna be more accurate than using a converter box. Next on the Crossmember, that was also a big issue. My Crossmember is pretty freaking low. I don't know why they made it so low. These little tabs at the end right here, they scrape the ground on like a lot of speed bumps that I go on. I don't know, maybe I could just shave these off, but it sits really low, because usually the lowest point of the car is going to be the exhaust, and then you see it sits way lower than the exhaust. So probably I can cut those off. I would say get a different one. There's other types you can get. This one is the Hawks brand from Spoon. I think Spoon's sells it, and then Hawks third parties it. It ships it out pretty much. You can get the UMI one, or you can get the tubular one. They'll probably clear a lot better than this one, because this one does scrape the ground quite a bit. So that's one issue I also have. Other than that, pretty easy to do. There's a straightforward swap. Pretty much every part except for the Crossmember you can get straight from a 4th gen car and just push it over. That's all you need, really. Anything else is extra. If I had to do it again, I would go with a different flywheel and clutch setup. I went with the McLeod racing flywheel and then the Ram clutch. That was like $900. And then also showed my my clutch fork was broken, and I had to pay another like $200 for that clutch fork. So probably what I would have done is just got a regular Chevy 350 clutch and flywheel, and then converted the LT1 to a hydraulic throwout bearing setup, which probably would have been much cheaper, and then just a lot better. Pedal probably would have been better. I wouldn't be having a super high pedal either, and it would have just been much more cheaper. Probably would have been like $600 as compared to $900, almost $1,200, because I got a completely new hydraulic setup. That was like another $150 plus the clutch fork. That was $200 plus the clutch fork, the flywheel and clutch. It's just so expensive. It was like at least like $1,200. And if I would have just went with the hydraulic throwout bearing and a regular clutch and flywheel from a regular Chevy 350 old school style, that probably would have been just like $600, $700, $800 at most. So that's what I would have done different. Other than that, I really like the car. I really like the transmission. Next up is going to be the engine, and tune in for that. Hope this video helps. I'm going to be linking down all the stuff that I use and down in the description, all the prices, all the websites, everything, so you can get this going if you want to do the same thing. This conversion also works on the T56 Magnum. Just like I said, you're going to be using a different style clutch and systems, which I should have used instead of using the LT1 system. But other than that, thanks for watching.